It's Brian Woods. The firm's called Nexus Wealth Management.
Is it your business, Brian?
Yeah, I founded it in 37 years ago.
Whereabouts are you located?
In Perth now, but we founded a company in Albany.
Okay, so you got 2 offices under Nexus Wealth Management?
We had 4 offices under Nexus Wealth, but we specialised back to 1 office about 6 years ago. 4 offices was too hard to manage, and we're a specialist business doing business succession and transition, so it's too hard to manage it across 4 locations.
That's an amazing. So you've been in the same business for 37 years.
Yes.
All right. I imagine you might have seen 1 or 2 changes during that time, Brian.
Absolutely, Peter. Like the disruption of different things over the years, but I think the profession is now evolving to a place where it needs to be, and simple workplace practices that were done 20 years ago are not tolerated, and shouldn't have been tolerated back then either. But
can you give an example of that?
Just giving advice flippantly, no recording of it. Just a simple thing like you need life insurance and you need 400 grand, but with no justification.
Okay, so from what you're saying, you seem to be certainly making a statement that the advice industry has matured, become a little bit more sophisticated.
Oh, without doubt. And it's needed to, Peter, because of some of the unprofessional standings of people. But there was so many great businesses, there's only a small number that weren't doing the right thing. And it had to be legislated to get an improvement of that.
Sure. Okay, well, we'll come back to that, but let's go back beyond 37 years. What were you doing?
I actually cut my teeth when I first started working for the bank and did 3 years accounting by distance learning, and I didn't want to be an accountant.
Why is that, Brian?
I love figures, but everything's happened with accounting. There's no proactive work, and I love the idea about solving problems, getting to solutions versus something that's already happened. So that's where I went. In the end, I thought accountants were a little bit too historical, might be the right word.
Okay, in saying hi to all the accountants out there, did you do anything else before you entered the accounting field?
No, I really just run a small business. Like I was an office manager at a small company.
Okay.
And then that really drove me into, that's it, I want to run my own company.
All right, going back even further, what was your first job? Did you have a job at school?
Yeah, well, my father, and I'm a regional West Australian boy from farming background. So me, it was like shearing sheep, crutching sheep, doing anything to make a living as a young bloke after school and before school, school holidays. And then I thought, well, I've got to have an education more than what the schooling I had. So going on to do accounting, and that university type process way back then was not like pushed. Now it is, but I thought, well, I've got to do something if I'm going to get a good career.
Well, let's come back to your rural life for a minute. How old were you when you first got behind the wheel of a car on the farm? Come on.
10 or 11 or 12 years old.
How did you go?
Oh yeah, we hit a few things, but there was not a few fence posts, nothing more, Peter.
When did you drop your first wheelie, Brian?
Oh, come on now. That was around the hot rod track.
Oh, really? Tell us about that.
Oh, driving the old man shooter around the hot rod track was great fun.
Yeah.
Learn how to drift, learn how to drive.
Yeah.
Way before I got a license.
Okay, so you think you're a good driver today?
Oh yes, of course.
Do you ever
I have never never lost my license for a bad misdemeanor. I've been plenty of speeding fines.
Okay. Okay. Well, you've just answered my next 2 questions, so well done. Let's come back to the financial advice sector. What's the biggest motivation for you in doing what you do?
It's an interesting question. I've always had this passion. Michael Murphy used to say it really well as AFA, and people who are very old life insurance agents that I knew, they made this comment to me one day that stuck with me forever. You have to leave this place a better place than what it was when you started. And I went, that's a very noble statement, but what did that mean? So I thought, well, I needed a job that could fit in with my sporting stuff that I was doing, and life insurance was introduced to me. And I couldn't have thought of a more noble way to do it. But I didn't know what I know now. Like in those days, it was rate book, just like Joe this morning, a rate book, couple of days training, get out there and do what you have to do.
But changing people's lives, is that what you're saying? Gets you up out of bed in the morning now?
Absolutely. I love what I do. Going to work, listening to stories, telling stories about great outcomes for people.
Yeah.
You know, it's so invigorating. You know, I'm a bit of a workaholic and I go there 7 a.m. to do the menial things. Just going to appointments and talking to people with my young professionals that work with us, it's just amazing. Great journey.
Back to you. You mentioned your sporting life. What's your sporting life, Brian, then and now?
Oh, now it's scuba diving, catching fresh crayfish and shooting fish in Western Australia. We can do that. Over here you can't. But
that's good to know.
no, my sporting career was playing professional cricket, semi-professional cricket, footy. Yeah, and I took my children to England. We played over there and played representative footy cricket for WA. It was awesome.
Okay, that's fantastic. It's said that cricket is not a sport, it's a way of life. Your comments, please?
Absolutely way of life. For me, passion. I go to every test match in Perth. My son played cricket. My dad played cricket. Family link. I love cricket.
Do you apply any principles of cricket into your business life?
Yeah, the harder you work at it and training and education and doing the very best you possibly can is one of the true cultures we have in our firm.
Okay, well, back to your firm. You've been in business for 37 years, clearly successful. Have you got another 37 years to go? What's going on in your future there, Brian?
Not 37 more. I don't know if, I've said this many times in the last 10 years, I don't know if I can physically just see myself stopping work. You know, I'm only 57 now, and I reckon I've got another 10 years where I'll keep doing what I'm doing. But being able to transfer the knowledge we have and the experience to do a good job for young professionals and help them do a great job, is that legacy, if that makes sense, that legacy discussion about how we leave this place a better place than what we started at.
Well, it's consistent with Michael Murphy principles.
Yeah, and that's really evolved in me, not so much, there hasn't been this,
Keep going, Brian, keep going, mate.
there hasn't been this place where you say that's where it happened. That's just something that I've always been bred into me.
Well, that music's telling us that our time is up. But I was just I wanted to dial back and ask you, you're 57 means you started your business when you're age 20.
Yes.
What a fantastic achievement. Thank you very much for your time, Brian.
You're
Look forward to
welcome.
staying in touch.
Thank you. Isn't it wonderful?